What's up, guys? Kicks and Shit Show, Jarod and Gabby. We are back. And Gabby, first of all, how are you?
I'm so hyped right now. Like, we're at episode 10. We have some of our favorite people here today. I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling the vibes. How are you doing today?
Listen, things are opening up back out here, which we can talk about that. People out here thinking in a pandemic. I don't know. But forget all that. We're excited because we have the incomparable. Ooh, you like that? Incomparable.
Big
The
words
incomparable Adena and Chad Jones. What's up, y'all?
What's going on? What's good? chilling.
So Adena and I connected, or actually, here's a funny story. When Adena and I connected on True Hoop, and it was the first time she'd come on, and we're both contributors to True Hoop. Shout out to Henry and Judy and Coach Thorpe. And I had said to Adena, first time I met her on the show, "Oh yeah, Adena, we actually connected before," and she was like, "Oh, did we?" And like in that high pitch, like, that whole life.
I passed it off really well. Chad knows I'm the worst at like remembering people's names and stuff. I walk up to people all the time, be like, "Hey, girl, oh my God." People like, "You don't know that bitch."
I be like, "Who's that?" Like, I don't know, but she knows me. So
No, you got to do the bait and switch move. Hey, great to see you. This is Jarod.
Yeah.
Kind of play it off. I don't know if people are onto that move yet, but like that is the way to go.
Well, okay, so I'm not good at it, but cool.
But it was great, and Adena and I have been, connected ever since on some real dope stuff, and I'm loving what her and Chad, of course, if you guys don't know, on Twitter is Sneaker Galactus and Instagram. This guy is an OG sneakerhead, and we're going to get into all that with him and the both of them. He is, as Adena texts me, the Sneaker Gawd. Not God, not little G, Gawd. Gawd.
So the benefit is to have my wife as my PR. That's just
That's what the W is for. It's actually for wife in there. You know what's really happening here.
PR and personal hype
man,
woman.
it's hard to shout your own praises because then it's more like arrogance,
Chad, loving it. And so, yeah, we're going to get into this awesome husband and wife duo. They have a company called another-lane.com, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But doing great stuff in sneakers. And I really wanted to start with, Chad, like, how did you get into the sneaker culture? And how did you become sort of like, yo, I love this stuff and this is what I'm all about?
It's funny you asked that. So what's sneaker culture? When I was doing it, there was no such thing. So, for me, it was just kind of fashion, being another medium of art. My parents are both artists. My father's a fine artist. He was also a commercial artist. My mother was a textile designer. So patterns and materials, were important to me, and the details. And so just from that stuff, it was a different medium, so more hip type of thing. And I kind of made it my own. So it allowed me to help create identity and really go into it. So I'm grateful for that because I got put in a lot of situations growing up where it was a little awkward.
I do find that children of artists, at least in my experience, often see the world in a very different way, and I love it. Like if you walking down the street, and hopefully as soon as, well, I know we're allowed out, but when it's like really, really safe, Chad, you and I will go somewhere, and I love to just watch people like you look at the world and like, oh, and because it's things that, because I have no artistic bones in my body whatsoever. I don't see things that way. It just doesn't, that's not me, right? I can't. I know what I like. I know what looks good to me. But people who are around artists, and particularly if they're your parents, you see things differently. So what are some ways that, like, whether it was a t-shirt or a sneaker, that when you saw something, it just spoke to you differently than other kids?
Well, one thing that my father always really tried to do was the education behind history and being able to relate it and transfer it to other mediums. And he did that with art. So, like, he would take, Chinese culture and heritage and then translate it in their mediums of style, and then using their style and techniques doing his African themed work. So like these things were heavy themes of how to hybrid and adapt, and basically because no idea is original, it's all about how you execute it. And so my father made that a really concurrent theme in my life, and so sneakers allowed that path for me.
Yeah, and to add something on, when Chad said what sneaker culture, there like truly wasn't one. It was just these people with an insatiable appetite for shoes, right? And he would drive up and down the East Coast and go to mom and pop stores and be like, let me look and see what's in your back room. Oh, you're going out of business? Cool. Like, I'll buy all of these for $300 or something like that, right? So it was, and he'll admit it, like, it was an OCD at some point in time, and then this became a culture. Right?
Yeah, you know, just to add on that, but that was like right when it was budding. Like before that, like I got made fun of for my extreme interest in sneakers. Yeah. Like my cousins and the people who actually inspired me to be into sneakers made fun of how hard I went for sneakers.
Yeah, that one time when he was in what movie did y'all see?
Jungle Fever.
So he went to go see Jungle Fever in the movies, y'all. Not dating him. When I went to go see it in the movies, and his cousin said, like, at least for the first like 50 minutes of the movies, in the dark, he's looking down at his sneakers, like observing them, like, yeah, I got these. Like, what were they?
I had a pair of infrared 6s on, and I was just
He just kept making sure it was like flavor. I'm like, my dude, it's dark. Like, ain't nobody looking at them except for you. And people were making fun of it.
Listen, I was a city kid. They sent me down. My parents sent me down to Virginia. I was with my big cousins. I got a style on them. It's necessary.
Listen, yeah. Everyone who is from New York City and has relatives or friends that are from somewhere else, particularly southern parts of the country, when you go, there's an expectation they have of you. Oh, you from New York, so you gotta come and represent, right? You gotta have your gear correct. Then plus you wanna style them too. Let them know y'all ain't got this down here. Let me show you.
And it's a different kind of style. I mean, my friends tell me I dress like a ninja half the time because I wear a lot of black. So my friends from not here, I'm like, nah, this is my vibe. Like, relax. So I totally get that and respect that.
When I went to school, in California, USC, and like fight on the fits that I brought out freshman year. Like, what? I look like the missing member of TLC. Like, hat to the back, jersey dress. I had Carolina blue kicks. I had the and like you couldn't tell me I wasn't fly. And then I look back at these pictures and I was like, wow. And confession, I did have a pair of the high-heeled Air Force Ones. I made a lot of mistakes.
I had the sky high dunk. That was actually how I connected with Mike, which is how I met you guys, because I had the sky high dunks, and I was like, you know what? Even these kind of heels are uncomfortable. I don't get this. They pretty, but yeah.
But I can respect the sky highs. At least they're official. Yeah. Like them pump joints.
And then like they were sky high. Mine were like the stiletto joints that you found on foot in the street. Like I was looking like I was selling it on the corner. Like, it was bad. But real talk though, in terms of being like made fun of, same with me. Well, first of all, my mom, she was like, she hates sneakers. She said when she was younger, if a guy showed up to her door with sneakers, it was like we can't go on this date, right? And then I remember there was a point I was working at NBA.com as a producer. First of all, I worked from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So like, I dress in jeans and tee all the time. And if I ever changed my jeans, dudes were like, yo, you got a hot date? I was like, no, I just decided to change my fucking clothes. And then I would wear sneakers all the time, of course. And this guy told me later on, he was like, I thought you were gay. And I was like, why? He was like, because you wore sneakers and jeans. Sneakers and jeans means I'm gay? Like, what?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, nah, you was just mad because my shit was fresher than you.
That's exactly what it is, though. 100%. Mm-hmm.
And that is something Gabby and I talk about all the time, right? But before I get to that, Chad, I do have to say, so what was it, man? Wesley Snipes and Annabella Sciorra weren't really making you excited on the screen? You were like, nah, I ain't down with these two.
The crazy thing is, even as a kid, like movies compared to my real life, like that's sensationalized shit. When I'm watching what's really going on in Bensonhurst, I'm like,
right.
Fuck this movie.
You're like, I don't gotta watch Jungle Fever. I see it right here.
Like I see it every day. Yeah. What do I need to watch this movie for? Like maybe you in Virginia gotta watch this.
But real talk though, he still does that to this day. When he gets a shoe in, oh my God, Jarod. Like I love him, but like literally, okay. So say this is the shoe, right? I could probably just pull out a fucking shoe, but I'll be watching my show and he's like, Adena, look, and like literally, I'm staring and he's just like. Ooh, and he'll stare at it for 10 to 15 minutes. And I was like, dog, like, I'm trying to watch my show. You're going to make me look at your new shoe. And I'll end like 3 minutes. But then I'm like, can I watch my show? And then he'll put them on his foot and then be like, ooh, let me like lace it up differently. And that's him.
All right, I'm going to take all this ether because I guess I deserve it.
I respect that, though. I'm the same way. Jarod, you haven't seen my full me in my universe yet, because I've been kind of a little bit budget with my sneaker shopping lately with the quar times that we're in right now. But I'm the same way.
You got to protect yourself, right? We got that right. I will say, as we wrap this segment, though, what you said, Adena, was really interesting about how dudes saw you with jeans and kicks and thought you were gay, right? And there's this idea of who does sneaker culture belong to? Dudes, whatever. It's like, I don't think it belongs to anyone, right? Like, there are people who originated it and who started, and you should always, in my opinion, pay respect and give homage to the originators and the grandmasters. That is like, that should always happen in any industry. However, it doesn't belong to anyone, right? If you got your stuff and you want to style and do you do it work for you, I do it work for me, right? Like that's how I look at the sneaker culture. I know Gabby feels the same way.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, Chad and I talked about this even before we started taping today. Like back in the day with these men's launches and women's launches, like I was lucky if they had stuff even in my size. Like I rock a men's 7, so it was on that cusp. So like the fragment ones that came out, they stopped at a size 8. So I couldn't get half the launches. So I think, Adena, you're right. These guys are hating, man.
Well, and then, it's interesting. The guys are hating, but then it's a cultural thing, right? Because even my girlfriends be like, why are you always in sneakers though? Like one of my girlfriends, she was Trini. She told me the reason why my foot was so big, and it's like a true West Indian thing. It's like, cause you wear shoes and your feet keep expanding. And like, as a woman, you don't want large feet. And I had a size 10 in like 9th grade. I wear a size 10. And so my mom calls my shoes, my size is size fits them. You buy whatever fit them. Right. So like, that's what she says. And so even my girlfriends were hating. They're like, yeah, you're not going to catch no dudes in sneakers. And like, why are you always wearing sneakers? And that's why you got like ginormous feet, because you wear sneakers.
But look at you now. You got Chad. So now what, haters?
Exactly.
All I knew that her form on a jump shot was official. So I was like, I think we can build, because we have some of our interests aligned.
Yes.
And size feet. Actually, I'm happy that her feet are bigger, because now she can wear more sizes.
Yes.
So we can go together and get them, and whatever she wants, because she's got me, we can make that happen.
Exactly.
Love that.
Look at that, y'all. Beautiful love. And that is a perfect spot to wrap right now. We'll be back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going on right now as it relates to COVID, what's going on with the brands and their digital push versus in-store. So stay tuned. We'll see you in a bit. What's up, guys? We are back. So as you know, Gabby and I, we read different things, footwear news, whatever, and just to see what's going on in the business side of the sneaker world. And a lot of news coming out, right? Nike just had their earnings report for Q2. And it's like, oh no, we lost money. We're down hundreds of millions of dollars. Stock price down 38%. All this. It's like, all right, let's not go crazy. Nike ain't going out of business, right? It's nothing insane like that. Yes, the reality is the analysts projected them to come in at a certain level, right? 700 and something million, or 7.3 billion, and they came in at like 6 point something. All right, a little bit down, right? Yes. Hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of money to me and you and them too, but you get my point. It ain't like the end of the world. But what I thought was interesting is what Nike said was that online sales has continued to trend up, and year over year, that is their bright spot. And they made a lot of investment, even before COVID, into doing online and digital. And obviously what COVID's happened over the last 4 months, it's forced everyone to really accelerate, right? The last 4 months seems like it's been 10 years. And so where you were at the beginning, to 4 months later, it's like, yo, man, if whatever you were prioritizing then, you ain't in a good spot. So if online and digital wasn't your jam prior to, I mean, you're fucked. In many, right? Like, it's not going well for you right now as a company. Obviously, Nike was already ahead of that and doing that, so they were there. And that had me thinking, and that's why I'm so glad Chad and Adena are here, about buying sneakers, right? There is something about going to a store, smelling the open box, putting it on your feet, the little small mirrors down at the bottom. You got your little outfit on, you styling, you profile. Trust me, I know that. Everybody here, we know that. But, I mean, if you know your size, you know your size, right? Like, I'm an 11. No matter what brand it is, it's an 11. So I can email or I can order Adidas, Puma. 11's going to be it. So do I need to go to the store physically, or is online just where it's at? And particularly as it relates to the culture, when the new drops come, right? Because not every store gets, for instance, the Bread 11s, right? Not every store is going to have them. So are you better off just being like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get on this sneakers app or whatever app that I use and try to get them. But does that take away from the mystique and the I don't know. There's something about that, right? Of like, oh man, I waited online and I got these, right? Like, think of even like something like concerts when you were young. You know, wait online for tickets. All that is gone. So, Chad, I'm curious for you, the Sneaker Gawd. How do you, for you, how do you feel about the online experience versus in-person, brick and mortar stores?
I find it to be a lacking experience. The gratification is to a lesser extent, which is why I increase the volume of my purchases for that same level of gratification. And I think that that's a formula that is deliberate. What I'm going to say about digital, I think we see why technology is so important. It evens the playing field, and the key ingredient is its flexibility. So in a situation like a pandemic or something like that, you can literally shift your focus and your marketing budget towards whatever avenue. When it comes to pop-ups, online, whatever, the internet and Wi-Fi, it's really adaptable and flexible. And when you're able to do that, you can do anything with it. And so being that they have this new CEO who was with eBay and PayPal, he has intricate knowledge of technologies and emerging technologies and where things are going. And I think that they're hedging that bet. And there's a lot of strategic moves that are going on in the background that, a lot of people are not paying attention to. But if you're looking at the corporate boardrooms and the partnerships that are going on in those boardrooms, then you'll see how the chess moves are being placed. And I think it's a delayed gratification. Right now, there's logistic problems. And so, they didn't get the money now. It doesn't mean it ain't coming.
Yeah. And one thing about technology, and Chad wrote an article in Bleacher Report about this, it does even the playing field in a sense where, it's not the first person online or whatever, you have an algorithm. However, there are still people in this country, a large number of people who don't have broadband internet access, who don't have mobile internet access, who don't have credit cards and or debit cards. They used to be able to walk up to a store and get a shoe. Now they're completely locked out, right? So they're either trying to trade later on the resale market for something, or they just can't get the shoe. So it's unfortunate. And we talk about culture and community. You used to be able to go up to your mom and pop store. Now they don't have a contract, or they didn't get that shoe, or they only got 3 of them. And so that takes away from the community of it all. It takes away from the culture of it all.
No, I definitely agree with you guys in that sense. And Chad, I think I'm doing my sneaker shopping wrong because I'm buying less because I'm nervous about the joy, but I think I just need to buy a whole bunch of shit. Like, I think that's what it is. So you're welcome, Nike and Foot Inc. I'm going to help you raise that stock price. But I think it's really interesting what you guys are saying about the magic there, right? And how even some of my friends don't have PayPal or Venmo or these digital platforms. And even when you have all of those things, there's still a lot of odds against you because like maybe someone can't get to the store on that day. So you have a better shot of picking something up at your mom and pop shop. But now that the playing field is open for literally everybody, bots, people, everyone that has that access, for me personally, I find it so much harder to get sneakers. And like I said, I've never took so many L's. Like I don't like being rejected by my friends. I don't know about you guys. It's very disheartening. But like, I mean, sales are up. Foot Inc. is up 6% year over year. I mean, pandemic, everything else aside. So clearly there's something that's working with this online model, but I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Like, is that changing the game? Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, like there's this weird model, right? So when I was talking about technology, the advantage is really from the seller or manufacturer's side, because they widen the audience for where their product is going to go. It actually puts the consumer at a disadvantage because there's a smaller amount of product to go along a wider audience, which has you still wanting more because it's rare for you to get it. And so I consider the times when you take L's would be outliers in those algorithms that Nike and them are working on. And they hit minorities, women, Black people who don't have capital to just buy everything, so that an algorithm makes it easier for them to buy it in the future. And so there's a lot of ethical practices that people in technology are not paying attention to, and that's what is making the digital divide happen, and it's even wider. And so I want to get ahead of it And that's actually what another lane is about.
Yeah, and you talk about that magic that's missing. Your sneakers literally arrive the same way that a package of mustard arrives from Amazon, right? Like, where's the where's the fun in that, right? And so we do miss going to the store and trying things on. But I also think, and this is, why we started another lane, there's magic in the chase, in the hunt. And the reason why these things are up 6% is because sneakers are not, they're not like mustard, right? There is a passion and attached to them, and people will do whatever they can to get them, just like a piece of art. So hence why it'll be up in a pandemic, and people will continue to try to get them. We've had people hit us up saying, yo, when my stimulus check come, like, I'm finna be on another lane, hyphenlane.com. And I was like, that, right? Like, I'm sure that's exactly what the government intended it for. And because that's what makes us feel good. And another lane, we continue that magic, like customer service. We're here to talk to you. And when our platform is fully developed, there will be communication between buyer and seller. So I can tell you the story about how I got this shoe, and I can tell you why I want this shoe because I'm from Boston and I love Ray Allen, right? So there's that community and connection that you get that you don't get from these other digital platforms.
Adena, what you mean ain't no passing around mustard? Don't fool with my Grey Poupon, girl. don't. What you mean?
Let me find out you mustard gang.
I'm with it.
I don't know. Too much sauce, Jarod. Too much sauce.
Much sauce.
No, but I'm with you guys, and that's something that Gabby and I talk about all the time, right? This idea of community, right? And Adena, we know this, and Chad, you know this. All these things are targeted, right? The shoes are targeted towards a specific group, right? And it is minority people in urban environments, right? That is, for lack of a better term, black people, young black people is who they target this stuff for, right? Yeah. However, if you're not the ones being able to get it, to your point, right? You're taking L's or whatever. And now if you really want that thing, I have to go on StockX or GOAT or whatever. And I mean, y'all know these markups are out of control. I'm like, listen, everyone knows, I said it on here, those ones, the Virgil ones, the off-white powder blue, woo, I want those bad. Guess what I'm not doing, though? I am not going on StockX and paying Exactly. What I'm not going to do is go on them sites and pay thousands of dollars. As Gabby so eloquently put last week, things like rent, your mortgage, like there are other things, that are actually due, right? So to me, there's got to be a way for, and of course, we have another hyphenlane.com, which we'll get to, right? Where people can buy in a secondary market. And okay, I get you. You want to make your profit? Listen, it's America. The capitalist machine must move on. But yo, man, really? You trying to charge me $5,000 for these shoes? Come on, man. Like, this is we wilding out here with this stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's about too. Is it's about that connection, and that's what we love about you guys. It's about the story. It's not just a transaction, and I think that's one piece of the culture that's kind of gotten lost over the years, especially in really recent time. I mean, Chad, Adena, I met you guys at a Knicks draft event, and we bonded over sneakers just because we had common interests. And like I said to Jarod, those are the moments that really drew me in. Like, I used to have every pair of Adidas growing up, the swishy pants, the Missy Elliott collab. Like, let me tell you, we grew up in the tennis team at Skidmore College. We're like, we don't know where this G came from. But it's nice to connect with people that have those kind of interests and not feel alienated. I think, to me, that's what part of the magic is. And I think that's why I've been a little bit reluctant to buy, because I'm not getting that same kind of experience. As much as I like to flex in front of myself in my home, trust me, Chad, I'm with you on that one. I'm all about that life. But it's just like you get the interaction, and that's what we love about you guys. So
yeah, man, it's the community, right? Like, and it's those stories. Yo, man, remember that time we waited for 2 weeks out online? And Chad, I know you got stories, right? Because to get some of your pairs, you do connecting flights. Like, I know, and there was a story I'd love for you to tell on here. You told it on True, but it's such a good story, and there's like multiple flights for you to get a pair. So what was the most arduous journey you took to get a pair that you had to have?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say let's just go for arduous journey, okay? And with the pair, okay? Because the pair had to commemorate the journey. All right.
Fair enough.
So I like that.
9/11 happened, okay? And I was actually on the Brooklyn Bridge when the second plane hit. Okay, I was on my way to Kingsborough College. I was taking classes there. And so my mother was in a flight, and it got diverged from Belgium to Newfoundland, St. John's, Newfoundland. Okay, we lost contact, and all the planes and what was going on. So finally, we got in contact, and she got pulled off the plane there, and I asked her if she wanted me to get her. 43 hours to get there. Okay, I drove
to Nova Scotia
to St. John's, Newfoundland. So all the way, and then a ferry to one tip of Newfoundland all the way to the end. And so when I picked her up, we ended up at a Canada place called Sport Check. I don't, if you guys ever, I don't know if they still exist. And when I walked in there, like the all black KG Flightposites was still there. So like my sister got a pair of those, and then I saw a pair of Shox R4s in a crazy blue colorway. It was like royal blue that faded to navy. I still have them. I actually put them on sale for my site. And on the sticker of the box, it was like launch product, do not sell before. And it was after that date, but I was like, yo, I never saw this color in America. And so I got them. My mom was happy. That was one of the last pairs that she ever bought me. She was happy to get them for me because I went and got her so she didn't have to get on a plane because it scared the hell out of her when it got diverted. They don't tell you why they're going. So, but that was that shoe and that story was just like, and it was crazy. Like 43 hours, I was doing $130 in clogs.
Wow.
Okay.
It was interesting.
After 9/11, like I went to Checkers because I was like emotionally eating the day of 9/11, and he went obviously to pick up your mom, like of course,
right.
and went to buy a pair of sneakers. Like,
I mean, Chad. I mean, listen, that everybody out there can relate to that in some way, right? Like the love you have for your mother. I mean, that's just, it's really hard to explain that in words, right?
Yeah.
Because you do it in action, i.e. driving 43 hours to go get her during the middle of this crisis, right? That's what you do. And that is incredible. And of course, because you are what? The Sneaker Gawd. You had to get you a pair of kicks. Well, I'm up here. We might as well.
I mean, that's just what I do. It's part of, it really is at this point, like since I was a little kid, it's part of who I am. It's not, like sneakers are not my identity. They're just a small part of who I am. So people like to highlight that as if like that's who I am. And I'm like, nah, this is just a tiny little bit of who I am. I got a whole lot to me.
Love it. I'm sure Adena knows all the stories inside.
Yes, I know all the stories. And actually, Gabby had mentioned the Knicks event, and that's where we met Gabby, but also it's where Chad and I met.
That's
7 years.
First met.
7 years ago. Applied for years. Basketball brought us together. I know you were there.
I'm getting steamy a little bit. I didn't realize that was the moment of love.
I know. And we said that, and we joked on. Anthony Bennett was the number one pick that year. Where is he?
Jokes on jokes.
Yeah,
we actually joked about him too.
Yeah, we joked about him, and ironically, Aaron Hernandez was like the thing in the news that time. So we were like, of all the memes that were happening, right? And that's how we met, and exactly on this day, the same day we're doing Kicks and Shit podcast.
Yep.
Listen, man, that's Kicks and Shit. We love stories, bringing people together. That's what this is about, baby.
I'm feeling all the feels right now, all the feels, you guys.
And shout to Mike Salzano, because Deadstock NYC, because he's the one who was like, yo, go meet my homegirl Gabby. She's gonna be at the event. So, and also shout to Miguel.
Yeah. Oh, Miguel, that's right.
Miguel, my boy, he's married to my old prep school professor, and he was hosting the event, and that's how I got there.
Yeah, and he introduced me. He was like, "Yo, this is Adena. Like, she could back you up in the post."
Yeah.
That's he introduced me, and I was just like, "Can you not? Can I be a person?" He was like, she could back you up in a post, and I was like, "That's not what I'm going for."
Adena will give you that work in the low block.
And it was funny because I was like, when people like try to like big up a name for a company that they work at, I was like, I don't give two shits where you work.
And
like,
I really hate when people would introduce me. I was like, this is my homegirl who work at ESPN. I was like, I actually have other things about me.
Yeah, cool.
And if I didn't have this job, would you not like me?
Yeah, like if I didn't like you, it didn't matter where you work at. I still think you're a dirtbag, like, period.
Yo, I'm telling you, we gotta have Chad and Adena on more often because they have the perfect ways to end segments, right? Dirtbag, boom, and perfect place to wrap. We gonna be back with a little shoe and tell and some care with the Sneaker Gawd. Peace. What's up, guys? So we are so pumped. Chad and Adena have been here with us the whole time, rocking, giving us all this game, and we got some outtakes, but we'll share some of them with you, not all, because we can't peep you up to all the game. But one of our favorite things we love is shoe and tell. And I know Chad especially is very particular about sharing shoes, but Adena will do a little share first, a little show and tell. Then we'll let Chad go, and then we're going to get into some of the processes that Chad goes through as it relates to shoes. Because one thing I did learn from him, I mean, it's you know it in your head, but you don't think about it. Yo, man, don't touch them shoes. You got natural oils in your hand. You messing up the damn shoe. And I'm like, hit you right. You got natural oils in your hands. Good point. So I'm going to let y'all go ahead. Show me that shoe, Adena. What you got?
All right. Like, I barely get to show my shoes, but like, I'm a sneaker goddess, right? So
Yes.
I got these joints right here, you know, and I'm a livestock, so I wear my shit. I don't clean them. So, but like when they get really bad, I let the Sneaker Gawd clean them. So I got these pairs of ones. I got them at the Jordan brand. Jordan brand. They are a one of one. I got them lasered.
I see that AA6. I see you.
Yeah, so AA6, my maiden name is Adena Andrews, so AA, right. And the number 6 is my line number. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority.com, not .com, but Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And then on the other one, I got Made in Brooklyn on it because, you know, your
BK,
girl,
stand up.
Exactly, your girl's BK all day. So that's my one of one. And this is my other John. I got these yes.
Is it hot in here? I mean,
I only wear these in the summer because they hot. Even I could make it hot, right? So this is from what's the name of the album again, Chad?
Me, Myself, and I.
Yeah, I was like, I know the song is Me, Myself, and I, but I was like, I didn't know that was the name of the album. Anyway, I was at when they had All Star.
Actually, no, maybe the album is 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yes, 3 Feet High and Rising.
Yes.
Yeah. I was at All Star in New York, and we went to that. There was an activation called The Vault, and there was this girl. I think she was like an event coordinator. She was walking around, and she had these on, and I was like, Chad, those, I want them. And he was like, really? And I was like, yes. And then literally right then and there, I went on the app and bought them, and I was like, now I know I have a problem. So, and I only rock those like wearing all white. In the summertime, they barely come out. So those are the Sneaker Goddess.
Really?
Oh, snap.
Not a problem.
It's not a problem.
That's fine though. And we talk about white sneakers for summer too a lot. And I'm somebody who is very afraid to wear white sneakers because I'm clumsy. I don't want someone to breathe on them the wrong way. So I actually carry wipes with me. So like someone like steps on my heel or flat tires me, I'm like, I give them a dirty look and I'm like, and then I pull my wipe out. Like people have asked me for shout wipes and I'm like, I got a Jason Mark wipe. Does that do the same thing? I don't know. But like that makes me nervous.
Listen,
you do the same thing?
White sneakers have a real history, like especially with Black people.
Tell it, Chad.
And so the color white was, you know, a lot of the times, you know, the working class, the leisure people would play tennis and they would wear all white, and the help would see these people who were able to be out and playing leisurely. And because you don't have to work, you're not going to get it dirty. So that was the envision for Black people to see wealth, was to wear white, to show that we can also be leisurely.
Look at the white shoes.
And so that I wasn't allowed to get anything but white sneakers as a child. I didn't get my first pair of Black sneakers until 1991. And so I revolt against white sneakers because they're so easy to get dirty.
So easy.
Black man revolts against anything he
can. Yeah, you hit it though, because we joked about this, but All-Star this year in Chicago, I got the Jordan 3s, the whites, right, with the mocha, and Gabby's like, yo, did you bring your Jordan? I was like, no, it's snowing in Chicago. I'm not bringing these things outside. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Anybody trying to get no snow and mud on these? Hell out of here with that.
Buy white sneakers not to wear white sneakers.
But wait a minute, Brooklyn, right? It's still boot camp clicking here. Y'all, just because it's 220 don't mean 2020 doesn't mean a thing. We're still Timbs. We're still hoodies, okay, whether it's trending or not, okay?
All right,
so it's my turn. It's my turn. All right, so Vince Carter officially.
Oh, Chad, what you got?
You got the gloves on, y'all.
I'm going to bring it back to 2001.
Oh, with the gloves. Woo! Do a little pan this way. Let's see the full. Ooh.
But this is particularly special because this is player exclusive.
PE, I knew it.
Yeah, this is for Tim Hardaway. And while he was playing for the Miami Heat. So his nickname is Me. He's got the MEE on the side, and on the medial, there's the number 10.
Yeah.
This is a 20. almost a 20-year-old PE right here.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Chad got the Sneaker Gawd. So see,
I'm living for these gloves, by the way, too.
Yes,
Gloves.
a Costco
You gotta show the gloves.
Costco exclusive.
All right, so we're gonna play. Yeah, Costco. Yeah, so that's what we about, man.
They're literally winter gloves. They're like
they are, but I mean, it's hard for me to get the vinyl gloves on because my hands are big. Anyway, so this is.
Chad, which ones are those? I'm gonna lose my shit in a minute.
We're not worthy, man. We are not worthy.
Ep10 that was actually signed because Gabby, you got your Knicks shirt on. This is Alonzo Trier back when he was still at the University of Arizona. So this is his 5 here. And so the shoe, it's a home KD10.
Yeah. Look how crispy that.
Ow.
And it's a colorway University of Arizona. It's an exclusive. Yeah. It's got the branding on the heel.
Chad, what size are those?
These are 12 and a half.
Damn.
That's actually Alonzo Trier's size. Like I said, these are from him. He was nice enough to provide me with the home and away pairs of these. Yeah. So I got 2.
Chad, you wildin' right. Yo, see, folks.
So he gonna be a good pick for somebody.
Yeah, shout out to Iso. That's why I wanted to shout him up.
This is why Chad is the Sneaker God. This is incredible.
I got one for you, Jarod, because while you were talking, you actually made me like peak, okay?
What we got?
I don't know.
It's like Christmas morning right now, by the way. I just want you to know that.
Yes, it's like Christmas morning. I'm like, what's in the box? What's in the box?
No, but literally, there's so many shoes in here. I look through like sports calendars sometimes. I'd be like, Chad, today is the day that Jordan dunked on Dikembe. Do you have a sneaker to commemorate that? He's
actually,
like, sure.
I
do. This one or this one?
I'd be like, today's Jeter's birthday. Do you have something? Yeah, actually, I do. So that's a lot of what happens in another thing.
All right. So you were talking about the Carolina off-white one that you love so much.
Oh no. Oh,
it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. So I just want to say that. But
all right.
Okay.
But
colorway is why it piqued me. Okay. So you know, I go for things that are not generally seen by the public. Okay. Mm-hmm. So before I put this out, I'm not sure that it's ever been seen on the internet before. So I'm gonna
drop the DJ clue bomb.
Okay.
This is wild right now.
All right. So this right here is
dead.
A
dead
7 turf shoe, basically made for Golden Tate when
Jared's
he was playing for the Lions back in 2015 when he was that dude.
You gotta show him the turf.
Okay, it's got the turf bottom. These are destroyed holes.
Dead.
Okay, and these are dead stock.
That's a tag.
Okay.
Yo, that is a dead stock right there.
Yo.
Okay. And then to push up on it because we're gonna be nice because we're fam here, right?
Oh snap! What you?
I'm done. I'm out. I quit, you guys. Yo.
Turf shoe, basically like micro suede in the same blue. It's got his number 15 in the back.
God.
And the details are like amazing. Like it literally has all kinds of stuff inside, like embroidered, and the quality, like the craftsmanship and finish of the shoe. It's like it's A1.
So really what you're saying is we have to take a field trip to your store and bring our money so we can buy things because
take all of my money, all of my sneakers, take it all.
Well, like I said, the community thing is really important, and so you have to have a draw, right? So one of the things is like to be able to showcase things that people aren't generally able to see, and that brings talking points, which bring community and friendships and networks.
Yes.
And then we go from there.
And let's talk about like the exclusivity of these shoes, right? And the reason why we started another lane, and the platform it's got to be, he started it out of a need, right? A, don't want to pay seller fees anymore. B, when you have a shoe like that shoe's not going to be on StockX or Go. People don't even know it exists, right? Half the time you might not be able, you might be under embargo to not show it. So if I want exclusive PEs, I cannot go to StockX, but on another hyphen lane, you can find them, and we know the community of people that have them, right? And you can communicate about them. So
I'm smiling because that's what took me 30 years to build. I know a lot of people that y'all never heard of.
Exactly.
Woo! Listen, I want you guys again just to give a quick breakdown again of your vision of what another-lane.com is.
Yes. So the vision for another-lane.com right now, we're selling shoes, and we're actually using that to raise seed money for the full platform, which will be a buy, sell, trade platform. There will be intense communication, a messenger app. So you want to ask somebody, does the shoe fit small? You want to ask them about the story that happened around the shoe? You guys can do that. We want to make sure that it's a seller's first platform where you can build yourself as a brand and as a business, because when you're on StockX, GOAT, you're anonymous. No one knows that they're buying from the Sneaker Gawd, right? And when you're anonymous, it takes away your business acumen, but it also takes away from accountability, right? So that when you're anonymous, you can sell fakes, frauds, you can flake, you can do whatever you want, but not on another-lane. It will be a membership-based platform. So you'll have to apply to be in there, and we know that everyone in there is legit and receive cosigns. So none of that fugazi ass shit, and no seller fees. Obviously, no seller fees. But when I say no seller fees, obviously processing, I can't control what Visa takes away, and that's everything. But you'll pay your monthly membership fee, upload your inventory, and be able to sell them. So you can price them accordingly to what's happening in the market, and you can have conversation and dialogue and find shoes that you would never be able to find.
Yeah, and I think what I love about you guys is, like, for me, those are things that, to your point, Adena, I didn't know that existed. And like, if I could design my perfect 11, it would look like that cleat, because that's my favorite color. It's like, it's like making me feel things in certain places that I can't talk about on the show. But, you know, I think that, like, knowing that there's a place that you can have that community and it's not just transactional, to me, I'm already in. Take all my money, for real. Like, I think it's super dope.
And I will take all your money. I see these people take L's on Saturdays. They don't want your money, y'all. Like, they don't. We do. We want your business. We're Black owned. We want your money.
But truth of it is, we care about you. You know why? Because I am you. I am you. I am the same. We are one and the same. We're just in different places in our life. And so I prefer not to have outsiders taking advantage of us.
Yes. And truth is, you know, without having exuberant seller fees, you're probably going to get a better deal, because people are jacking up the price of their shoe because they want to make up for the 8 to 10% that's being taken away from them. So you can actually work out a better deal now.
You know, for me, obviously, it's all of the ability to find things you don't see. All of that, of course, is important. But the number one thing for me, why I think another-lane.com is important, and I want, obviously, people who listen to us and more people to support it, it's Black owned, y'all. Like, the number one thing that you have to understand is how difficult it is for Black businesses to start and or even succeed in this climate and environment. It's damn near impossible. So if you got someone like the Sneaker Gawd out here with all of this great merch, and they're really trying to do stuff to literally empower you, right? They ain't trying to get in your pockets, take all your money. I mean, they are, but not in that way, right? Like, so they ain't trying to rob you, right? So I think there's a way in which we can support each other, and this can be a larger part of a communal thing, man. And Chad, on some real stuff, not just because you're here, I got to figure out how to contract you out, because you know I want them damn KD Scrooge McDuck PEs. I don't know where they at. I got to find those. I got to find them.
I tell you, it is my real passion to hunt pairs like this down, but like, to get paid to do that kind of stuff, I got to be able to have the freedom to do that, you know?
Facts.
I feel you. McDucks. So much about
so much. But listen, folks, as always, thank you so much. Adena and Chad, where can the people find you guys?
You can find, so you can find me on Twitter and at Adena_Andrews, and on Instagram at Adena_Jones. And of course, you can find all the heat at on Instagram, Another Lane, and there's just a hyphen right at the bottom. But that's it. And then Chad.
My Instagram is Sneaker_Galactus, and my Twitter is @_Galactus. And I'm crazy. I say all kinds of stuff, but there's always a deeper meaning, and it's deliberate.
Yes. As is published.
Listen,
Yeah.
guys, thank you so much. You know where to find
Yeah,
us
thank you,
as
guys.
always at Kicks and Shit Show. Thank you so much, Adena and
Thank
Chad, for joining us. Listen,
Thanks.
we're gonna do this again, and Chad, we're gonna find them Scrooge McDuck somehow. I don't know how, but we're gonna find it.
She's obsessed.
Thank y'all for rocking with us. We'll see you soon. Peace.
And,